going on, everyone? I'm Mike. You guys know Craig.
I'm not Craig.
Next Gen Car Guys. And welcome back to the channel. And yeah, hate to do it to you, but we got another update video on Craig's car.
Broke.
It's still broke. Yep. It is definitely still broke. It is kind of his fault that it's still broke.
How's it my fault?
You was the one that took it apart in the first place. That's why it's broke.
I had to.
If he wasn't driving it like he was driving it.
You drive your car worse.
So, anyway.
And it don't.
So, me and Craig have not been able to put out a video in a while, so we figured we'd just do something kind of random here. I've been down. Craig's been down. Pretty sure we had the flu. Not really sure.
We had the COVID.
We might have had the Rona. It was rough. He lost his taste and smell, taste and smell. Yeah, so he lost both. I can still taste, but I couldn't really smell anything. So I got 2 kids, so that's kind of a blessing. So anyway, we're out here in the shop, and we're just gonna take you around and show you what we've managed to get done, or he's managed to get done.
Yeah, because Mike ain't been over here.
I ain't been over here because I've been just under the weather and not really felt like doing anything.
Making excuses.
So, well, let's turn the camera around. So, guys, in the last video, you've seen where we showed you the engine bay and stuff like that. I think we showed you the carburetor he ordered, and I think we showed him the heads, or we did a video on that. Yeah. Anyway, he finally got his...
This is a secret. Don't look at it.
It's not secrets.
Alright, so as you guys know, I don't have AC in my car, and I haven't for the AC was in it, but it didn't work. So I took the AC compressor off and all the condensers and stuff, or the condenser and stuff out, and moved the power steering pump up. So I haven't had AC, and then when we tore it apart, we decided to take the heater box and stuff out. The factory went out. If you know what this is, you probably already got an idea.
And no, that's not dryer hose.
It looks like it. Alright, so
check out the lovely flowing locks back here.
Yeah. This is my new heater.
So that is a vintage air heater, right?
Yep.
Is that correct? Okay. Look how small it is. That's kind of nice. It's going to fit pretty much anywhere you want to put it. So it's got a inlet and an outlet, and it's got a built-in heater core, fan, and if you guys can see, it's more like a squirrel cage in there. So, which is mostly what most vehicles have.
But
and then you got
we figured out that these are mainly defrost.
Okay, so you basically get
this right here opens.
This goes up here, and then you run this up to your vents up on top of the dash.
And
okay.
We had to retrofit that. We'll show you in a minute.
Okay.
But we figured out that this is for like the floor heat. So
okay.
Heat comes out right here.
So it's actually got a little motor here that opens this.
Yep.
Okay, so it does have a little blend door motor. Well, that's cool.
That's the heater. Of course, these go on the heater core.
Okay.
And
that's a pretty nice kit though.
It should be for almost $300.
Whew. That was a little spicy.
It's more than a little spicy. So me and Grandpa come up with the idea. I don't know where the one that come with it is at, but it had a
sweet.
I
see what you did.
So it had a control panel with knobs and the switches and everything.
Right. So it had everything basically ready to go.
So Grandpa came up with the idea that
and you retrofitted the knobs into the factory bezel
and the switches.
Dude, that is awesome.
I mean, it's not the prettiest thing.
I mean, but it looks good, and it'll go back in factory location and not have something else hanging off the dash.
So basically, this is your like high speed,
right,
or whatever. So like, this is really off, but nobody's gonna know the difference.
Right.
I mean, it's just gonna be on low. But then you got low, medium, high, and it lines up with high. So
okay,
that's gonna be nice.
That's awesome.
This is the temp control. Cold is like heat all the way shut off. It's got a control valve that goes between the heater hoses.
Right.
So that's all the way off.
So it just shuts off the coolant that goes into the heater core then.
That's all the way hot.
That's pretty sweet though.
And then I can't remember exactly how.
So if you was to leave, so basically by doing this, you get rid of the other piece that comes with it, and you're not having to mount something else on the dash. So it just basically it's a lot cleaner look this way.
The piece will snap back over it, make it look nice in the dash.
Dude, I like that. That's gonna turn out nice.
But on this one, I can't remember exactly which setting is what. Like I think this one's like just floor, and then that one's like floor or mix where it's defrost and floor.
Okay.
And then that one's just defrost by itself.
I got you.
But nobody's gonna know the difference.
Right. I mean, it's, you know, your car. Once you get used to driving it, you'll know where everything's at anyway, right? So. Okay.
Anyways,
Awesome.
That's the heater.
All right.
That we've figured out.
All right, so we're over here now looking around, and he's had to come up and kind of retrofit some stuff with the factory coolant crossover tube.
Well, actually, this was the plan to use this. If
Right.
you guys know what this is the crossover tube that went on the factory intake, and it had a fit right here.
That run across the top,
intake.
yep, and then
Yeah,
went
on the
into your heater hoses in the back.
But obviously, with the fuel hose or the fuel
Being
line
on that
that's
side.
I can't use this. There's not enough room.
Right.
So we had to come up with something else. I think we're gonna end up doing like we did Mike's car and just put a nipple in here.
Do an elbow and then run a hose off of it. Yep.
And then, so with no motor in it, it's kind of hard to imagine where everything's gonna be.
So I ended up having to bring my car over here just so they could kind of get an idea of where they wanted to run a few things. So I think that helped a little bit.
But anyway, so we're coming off the water pump with the hose that's on this.
Right.
But it's gonna be a whole one-piece hose, and both of them are gonna come off and go to the strut tower. And instead of trying to use this factory hole and make the lines come out right here, we're just gonna come off the strut tower and have the hoses straight up and down like this,
And run straight into the.
and run straight in right here.
That's gonna be nice.
So everybody's gonna ask, well, how are you gonna do that? Because that's where the AC used to be.
Right. So show them what you came up with.
So my friend of Grandpa's pretty good about machining stuff. He made us this plate. Of course, we got to trim it down. That's the reason why it's all marked and everything.
Right.
This is the factory.
And that's the factory foam. Yeah, the foam insulation.
AC fittings come out of. But you see, it's pretty decent size plate, aluminum.
That'd be
And
pretty
it's got
sturdy.
Straight nipples on this side that's going to come out of the firewall, and then it's got 90s for the
Inside.
And then this piece come off the factory gearbox. We ended up trimming it, cutting it, and it's gonna sit over those like so. That way you still have enough room to put hoses on it.
That's gonna be sweet.
But if I can make it sit in here like it's supposed to.
Oh, okay. Oh man, that looks good.
But I think it'll work out pretty neat once it's done. It was just like, because Grandpa was wanting to take and that hole, the square hole, he was wanting me to weld it up and then drill 2 more holes and run the hoses through.
Right.
I wasn't excited about having to drill 2 more holes in the firewall.
So, and the reason he didn't want to drill any more holes is because, guys, he's been over here patching holes. So, he's not done yet. He's still got quite a bit of work to do. But he's been, you know, grinding at this stuff, trying to clean up this. He's got a patch panel here. He's made some patch panels over there. And if you know, this car, the battery, this is where the factory location for the battery is. They are moving the battery over to this side of the car.
And speaking of that, we're trying to find a battery box that'll fit because we're trying to use the battery that come in it, which is a Group 58.
Right.
But we're having problems finding a battery box that will sit down low enough to put the battery on that side.
Okay.
And right now it's looking like we're gonna end up having to make one.
I know she had some plate bent here. It looked like it was what you were trying to do. So this is what
Well,
you're.
that was like what Grandpa was gonna use to like mock up.
I got
just
you.
to get an idea of
Makes
what
sense.
we're gonna do, but we might end up having to make one, and if we do make one, it's gonna be out of something different. than
Okay.
that. But we're gonna try to make one that sits flat, sits lower,
I got you.
and we're gonna have to like what Grandpa was explaining. It makes sense to me. If you know the factory one that sits on this side, it hangs over just a little bit.
It does,
over
yep.
the frame rail. So we're probably gonna make this one about the same width,
Try to sit.
and
okay.
then come off with a leg, and put a
And
nut cert right here in the frame
Make
rail.
it that much stronger.
And then you can put a nut right there, and it's bolted in, and then we're gonna have some right
You
here.
could also use that as a grounding point.
Yeah,
Possibly.
we've got our own ideas on that.
I got you. Well, let's see the. You said you had to retrofit the defrost for the dash.
Oh yeah.
So let's check that out real quick.
The vented air comes with 2 little vents,
Right.
which is these.
Okay.
Okay, so this whole piece right here was one solid big piece, you know, that had the big
It
opening.
goes to the defrost on the
That went to
factory
the-
dash, right?
That went to the factory air box. Grandpa said, I got an idea. And I didn't know what he was talking about. He just cut it off. and made the vents fit, and he's got them screwed in.
Oh, they are. He's got them mounted too?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. So I noticed you got a piece of foam in here. I guess that's to block off any
Tried to
airflow.
anyway, but I mean, I think we'll still have plenty.
So that actually turned out pretty good.
I mean, it's kind of like redneck stuff, but
I mean, you know, you're not going to see it anyway, so.
But we're also trying to make it functional.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have put these
Function
little
over
vents.
form most of the time.
Well, see, I was like, when we first started looking at it, we thought about putting these little vents up here.
Right.
But they weren't wide enough
To fit inside the factory.
So that's why.
So you got to have this, which goes across for both.
Exactly.
Both sides. I got you.
So that's the reason why we ended up using this again.
Let's see, if you did the smaller ones, you wouldn't get as much air coverage. This way, it kind of pushes the air out over the whole windshield, so it defrosts the whole windshield instead of just a piece or a portion of it. So that works out
So
good.
that's kind of the reason.
Oh, and he finally got all the pieces to his puzzle he's been working on, guys. The bezel for the dash.
Oh man, I gotta go like this. It's back there.
We gotta see it. Let's go see it.
It's
We'll
back
walk
there.
back there.
But-
All right, we'll be back. All right, so check it out, guys.
We got it in plastic, so it's kind of like
Keep it-
protected.
Keep the dust and stuff off of it.
That's the gauge panel.
Dude, that is sweet. So these are all brand new odometer gauges and this new dash bezel. So he's getting rid of all the old factory Fox body junk, more or less. Everybody knows those cars are what, you know, they're 20 plus years old now. They've got old wiring, they've got old gauges. So it's time to pretty much update everything on his car. And that's what he's been doing. He's pulled all the wiring out of it. Everything's been going through. So we're kind of doing to his car what we did to mine.
So this is the carpet, interior pieces and stuff in here
Okay.
that come out of it. Just real quick, I still got some things if anybody needs them.
So this is
Factory
most of the
airbox.
wiring that come out of the car.
I got a factory airbox for sale.
Okay, and this
It's
is
got a brand new heater core in it, brand new evaporator,
okay.
a brand new blower motor,
So this is a airbox out of a 91 LX.
and it should fit 87 and 93.
So 8793. So it should fit everything.
And
He also has an intake.
yeah, you're not getting this. This doesn't go
Oh,
with
the
it.
intake plate does not go with it, but it has an aftermarket throttle body intake.
Yeah, GT40 intake. Professional products. I think throttle body. I can't remember what size it is. TPS sensor, EGR delete. IAC motor.
And you also have the lower to the intake as
Yeah.
well.
Aluminum Scott Rod dash.
So, and this is for a Fox body as well, guys.
Yep.
So it's kind of upside down.
79 and 93. It's still got the plastic on it except for that one piece. It just needs to be cleaned up. It's
So-
got all the brackets and everything.
We got all kinds of Fox body stuff.
The lower intake's in there.
Okay. And what about the valve covers? Did you decide to keep those?
No, there's for sale too.
So Ford Racing valve covers for sale, guys.
But lower intake right here. It's got the injectors with the injector harness that you can
Yep.
splice into yours.
Okay.
There's the fuel lines that.
So basically, you got everything except for a fuel pump if somebody wanted to EFI swap their car.
But there's the fuel lines.
So he's got the fuel lines, injectors,
But-
upper lower intake.
You can take these off, this end off, and just snap it onto yours.
So what's the price tag on everything?
Honestly, make me an offer. I'm trying to get rid of this stuff.
So down in the comments, guys, if you guys want any of this stuff,
Also, the injector harness has got like the intake air temp sensor,
okay,
the engine coolant temp sensor, and some of the smog stuff.
okay. So anyway, down in the comments below, let him know what offer on this stuff, and you know,
We'll try to get it shipped out.
shipping, of course, will add a little extra to it, but
Yeah.
you know,
You pay for shipping.
we can get it to you.
And then there's actually a couple other things I wanted to show you guys. It's back up here at the big shop.
Okay, well, let's get back that way. Look at this, guys. Craig's keeping buddies out here at the shop now. Hey, Craig, I'll give you 20 bucks if you eat it.
So this is the last thing I was going to show you. Of course, you see I got my block right here. We tore it down probably a month and a half ago. Found out that the piston skirts were worn a lot.
A lot. They were wore out.
So every cylinder in this motor
You
was
could, the
knocking.
piston would go.
Yeah, and
I
every
mean,
cylinder.
it was shot.
Found out that the crank was turned 1010.
Hmm.
Of course, it had all new bearings in it, new cam bearings and stuff like that. But obviously, with it having piston slap like it did, I didn't like it. So
Right.
Tore it down, and then we were actually going to try to find a crate motor. Nobody had anything in stock, and I wasn't really going to be happy with a crate motor.
And really, they're according to what we were looking at the other day, there's still really not anything in stock. I mean, parts right now are hard to come by, and that's just about for anything.
Pretty much. So the big boxes back there, it's hard to see, is scat.
So you got your new water pump.
The big box back there, you can't
This
really
one
see
here?
it. Yeah,
I got
the
you.
biggest white one on the bottom.
Right.
That is the scat stroker kit.
Ooh, fancy.
So I'll go ahead and release it. It's a 331 stroker kit. It's a new timing cover.
Timing cover. Sweet. So a 331 stroker is what you're building.
Yeah.
I got you. So that's gonna be spicy.
I've got everything except for camshaft.
Or as my daughter Avery likes to say, that's gonna be tough.
Maybe. We'll see. I don't expect it to be really powerful, but it'll be better than what was in it.
Right.
But
Anything's gonna be better than what was in it, especially if you can grab the pistons and move them side to side.
oh yeah, definitely. But we're still waiting on the machine shop to tell me to bring the block and everything because he's gonna put it together.
So he's gonna put it together, make
Mainly,
sure and that's
we
way it's
would-
balanced, right?
We would put it together, but we don't have the tools to do it.
Right.
So that's the reason why we just go ahead and let him do it.
Well, he can do all the measurements and make,
Well, he's got to
all
cut
the
the block for the
adjustments.
stroker too.
Plus he can balance it.
And yeah, he's got to balance it. I had to order a 28-ounce flywheel and a 28-ounce balancer because that's what the kit's supposed to be balanced to.
So this is all Chris's fault from Fox.
Well, see, it's not really his fault because I was just asking. Okay, so like this started out when I first pulled it apart. I was mainly just gonna put the carburetor and stuff on it, but I was
Right.
gonna clean up the engine bay anyway.
And it pretty much snowballed from there.
It snowballed big time. So it turned in from just putting the carburetor on it to aluminum heads and a camshaft, and I'm pretty sure you guys remember that video. But I was messaging No Fox about a cam, and he's like, well, this is, if you want to stay like this, then here's a good suggestion. I was like, well, that one's not going to be in stock for like another 3 months.
Right.
So then I found another one, and then I took the heads off of it to get ready to sell those, and found out the piston skirts.
And I'll put a card some over in this area, and that'll be the link to the trip going and getting his heads for his car.
So anyway, so it snowballed, and then, like I said, Grandpa wanted me to buy a crate motor, and I don't think I was going to be very happy with the crate motor, even though, you know, they're rated at 350
Right.
horsepower.
And you were looking at what, DSS and Dart, or?
No, a crate motor like from ATK.
Okay.
Just
So
some of the ones on jegs and stuff like that.
I got you.
But nobody had anything in stock. And then I kind of said to Grandpa, you know, I was like, I've always wanted a 331.
Right.
And we started.
So then it
looking
just
up-
kind of
We started looking
from
up
there.
stroker kits and found a stroker kit for a decent price.
Yeah. So right now, what was it? The total price? It was like $1,100 or something shipped for a complete stroker kit.
Pretty close. I think
Yeah.
it was like 1,080.
So I mean, that's really not horrible.
So the kit itself was 1,015 on jegs.
And you said that was a scat.
Scat kit, and it comes with forged rods and forged pistons and a cast steel crank.
So yeah, I mean,
And it comes
you
with
can't-
all the bearings.
that's a pretty good deal, really.
Comes with all the bearings, all the rings for the pistons and stuff like that. I mean,
So what camshaft you decided to go with?
I'm letting the engine builder pick it.
Letting an individual pick.
because
Okay,
He's built a lot of Ford engines, so he kind of knows what to look for.
I got you. So he'll be able to take what your heads you're using and everything and be able to kind of calculate. So you're gonna go. You think he's gonna go custom grind or he's gonna go off the shelf cam?
Probably off the shelf.
Off the shelf. Okay,
He said it was probably going to be close to what I already had in it, but it's going to be a lot better.
I got you.
So.
And you were looking for something with a little less duration too, because
Well, not duration. It was,
or LSA, lobe separation,
yeah.
which is what you know.
So the E303, the cam card that I have on it, because when I bought this car, the guy that I bought it from kept all the receipts for everything. The cam card shows that the E303 cam nose in my car had a 110 lobe separation.
Right.
And I didn't like the way it drove at low RPM.
Yeah, it had the buck and kick kind of jerking around
And whiplash. I mean.
oh yeah, this car was bad.
So when we went and talked to the engine builder about what we were wanting to do, I asked him if he'd pick me a cam, and then he asked me what I was looking for, and I told him, I said, I want something to stay around like a 112,
Yeah.
114 lobe separation.
So it's gonna be a little more drivable,
and
more
it's
or
gonna
less.
be probably somewhere from like 1,500 to 6,000 RPM power band.
I got you.
'Cause I mean,
All
but
right.
But yeah, so that's the update. You seen the welding up in the engine bay? It looks redneck right now.
It'll get there.
We still gotta do body work.
Got a lot of work to do.
Still gotta weld in some patches. My welding sucks. Don't flame me too hard. I'm still learning. But
it's gonna get there. This time, and then us being down and everything, and I haven't been able to get over here and help him. So maybe now that we're both feeling a little better, we can get back on this and get it going. So yeah.
After we get patches and everything welded up, it's time to pick a color.
Yeah, and I'll leave the colors. He has kind of an idea of what he wants to go with down in the description, and let you do a vote. Comment what color he should go with. What you guys think looks good, and maybe that'll help him decide on what color he wants to go with. Well, anyway, guys, we're gonna end this video here. Appreciate you watching. Thanks everybody that sticks with us. I know it's been a little bit since we got a video out. We're gonna try to get back on it. We do have an event coming up next weekend. We will be going to that Friday night and Saturday and catching some racing action for you guys. So stay tuned for that.
Maybe we'll get some more videos out for you guys.
And yeah.
Maybe some more action.
Yeah, oh yeah. Maybe Craig will get out here in the water and do some swimming for you or something. No, some synchronized swimming.
Action like in
action like in the car. I got you. So anyway, guys, appreciate you watching. Till next time.
No.
Take care.